We are back with our budget conversations with the Election Commission. Joan, it's good to see you. Thank you for being here. I'm going to give you a second to introduce the folks who you brought with you today, but before we do that, I'm going to turn this over to Talia and to kick us off. Talia.
Okay, good morning, everyone. The Election Commission oversees voting and coordinates those activities in Davidson County. They have a current metro budget of $5.4 million and have 38.53 budgeted FTEs. They have a budget. They have two budget requests for FY17. 2.1 million of that is in non-recurring election expenses, and 425,500, including 2 FTEs, are requested for recurring administrative expenses. Okay. With that, I think I'm turning this over to Ms. Nixon.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for allowing us to be here and to schedule this conversation. To my right is our chairman, Jim Delantis of the Davidson County Election Commission, and to my left is Bill Hayden, who is our finance manager. And we do have 2 commissioners in the audience, Jennifer Lawson and AJ Starling.
Great. Well, thank you all for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Do you want to just talk about what you're
Sure. I do appreciate this concept that you're doing. Basically, just to continue on what we've been doing, the specific improvements that we've have been one of the biggest things is our poll workers. The increase in their pay raise has really tremendously helped in recruiting poll workers, and we even have to have a cutoff now between elections.
Good. So
yes, we're getting that bench really ready for the election process. But everything is improving as well with our procedural voter registration data. That's being improved. Our relationships with our agencies within the government have strengthened. We've had conversations to work out any situation that we've had. We work with a lot of metro agencies, so we're very enlightened to know that we can have that bridge with those agencies. We do understand that there are still some needs in our office. Our status quo budget does include our part-time workers, that we have the funding for our part-time workers, which really represent about 34% of our workforce. And without those part-time workers, part-time positions, we would be, it would not be a good thing. We would still get the job done, of course, as we are in charge of all the elections, but it would be a little cumbersome if we did not have those 12 funded part-time positions. We're handling our volume of registrations better. I believe we have a good system in place.
Are we moving to online registration? Is that?
That has not, to my understanding, I don't believe I think it's stuck or it's pulled from the, I don't know the process of when that's going to be a law.
So right now, until it's a law, we
can't. And we have looked at how that is going to impact our work if that were to pass.
Sure.
And so one of those things would be we would have to hire someone else to be in the office to handle that. So it's exciting to know what it's about.
Right,
but,
absolutely.
Right now, we are just handling what we have.
Well, let's talk about the first non-recurring ask. I think that, and let me also say that the opportunity to vote and to make it easy, accessible for our folks in Davidson County, I think is the most important thing that we do. So I appreciate all the hard work that you bring and do for that. So we have an election coming up this year.
Yes, we
so
do.
that non-reoccurring 2.1, too many. 2.1 is something then that you all need for this election. And what is, if I'm somebody who's at home and going, wow, $2.1 million is a lot of money to ensure that I'm going to be able to vote. What is that $2.1 million going to provide? So if I'm a voter, I'm going to get what for that?
Well, you're going to continue to get your barrier-free election. That is our mantra, and that's what we're going to do. But those monies will be shown throughout the office as far as getting the job done, getting the procedure down, ensuring that we have enough poll workers.
Okay, so it's going to pay a lot of this money goes to
Dividends.
poll workers.
Yes, the poll workers, our staff, making sure that they're adequately funded and have the resources available to them to do their jobs.
Does this increase the number of places I can go vote? Does this keep it status quo?
Status quo. Of course, in the November election, we're asking, or our budget is prepared for 13 early voting locations, open for 14 days. And so with that increase, we're anticipating a historic turnout once again for the November, and not to forget about the August election,
I was
of
going
course.
to say, we got that one as well. So
Right.
Is that a similar apples to apples, or we have 13 early voting sites there too for 14 days?
We
or
will
what's
have
We'll have 11 early voting.
11?
One for 14 days, 10 for 7 days. 9 days.
9 days.
9 days.
9 days.
9, okay. And that's what this will all go to pay for. Is it mostly poll workers?
poll workers and
Poll workers and advertisement, overtime for our current employees that are administrative,
sample
overtime
ballot.
for our part-time workers as well.
That'd probably be the most early voting we've ever had, isn't it? 13.
Is that the
14
biggest?
days.
For an August election, yes. Yes.
What about for the November election?
November, no, that's pretty typical. In '08, we had 13, we did. And that's kind of the model election that we're using for that election.
About half the people vote early?
Yes, it was quite historic for Davidson County in March. We
What was
had
the March turnout? You had a big vote.
44,000 voted early, and 77,000 voted election day. So that is, if that's any indication of their growth and everything going forward,
There's
is
a lot
going
of
to.
undecided going into that.
Yes, you had a lot
Less
of,
undecided.
that's right, had a lot of
Maybe narrower
uncommitted
field.
voters,
Yeah.
so it's going to be a daunting.
Now let's talk about your budget requests that are non-reoccurring.
Yes.
Tell me about those. The reoccurring expenses. You've got a request for 2 FTEs and $425,000 that would be an ongoing expense.
Yes, the 2 FTs, let me briefly talk about that. We have been requesting an additional staff person within our absentee voting services and our voter registration department. And the voter registration department has just 2 full-time people, and the rest of the staff are part-time, several of the 12 positions that we have currently in the office. And as the volume is increasing, and we saw that so much more for this March election, that need is only going to be more as we go forward. And we have a plan. There is a plan in place. If that's not, those funds, if the FTE is not given. So we do have a plan in place, but it's going to increase dramatically. I mean, we have thousands of backlog right now from that March cutoff date till now. So we are working feverishly to get that done, but it is going to be more. And so we definitely need an additional person in that office. Same thing with the absentee voting services department. Absentee is going to increase. When the law changed, we're 60 and older, can vote by mail. That made our volume increase dramatically. And so as we go through the August election and the November election, those requests and that mail is going to be probably unprecedented, yes.
So let's talk about that backlog
Yes.
of
Yes,
registration. So right now, the process is I fill out a piece of paper, then I have to hand it to you, then you have to hire somebody to type it all in to another database.
Yes.
And so that online registration administration could actually save.
It could,
lot.
but talking with our IT personnel, he would still need an additional person to maintain the integrity of that data. He would need an additional person to assist him in. But yes, I mean, we have worked without, the additional staff person, and so those duties have fallen on the current staff after work hours. It's adding additional duties to a lot of the staff there. So it would help. It would help, but I feel that we would still need another viable person in that department.
Talia?
No, I'm good.
Rich?
I'm good.
Good. We appreciate y'all coming down. Thank you so much for your time today. Thank you. Thanks.